were joking about Bank of America report about the only reason to be bearish is to be bearish because there is no reason. And that's interesting because you know what's coming. I mean, if you dumb it down to my level, you basically, are throwing so much more water through money stimulus into a pot. It's got to overflow, and it's just going to be amazing. So it will be interesting to see where the money goes. But what's going to counter that is rising prices with food and energy that's not counted in the inflation targets that the government does. That you talk about.
Nothing's counted inflation. Nothing.
Yeah,
we have zero inflation, and this is all based on like the Reagan era, how he changed. Which I really learned recently. Did some research and talked to a few people I know. How he changed the system when it comes to inflation, where he just changed the way we look at it. He changed the formula, and now it's, hey, the CPI is good. We're under 2%, and that could be 3.5%. It's not going to matter. They're still going to be pedal to the metal, low interest rates. But it's just funny how everything that we pay for across the board is higher than what we paid for probably even yesterday. And look back for years, whether it's food, tuition, I mean, every electricity, it's absolutely insane. But it doesn't matter from an investment point of view because what the Fed looks at is the CPI, and the CPI is showing that there's no inflation or very little inflation, so therefore they're going to keep rates low, and you're going to see a lot more stimulus dollars come out. That's how you have to invest. So I understand Bank of America's point saying, it's hard to be bearish. It is hard to be bearish, but sometimes, again, if you're not following the status quo we talked about earlier, you want to be careful here and just protect yourself a little bit. You might be wrong and you're not going to pick the absolute top, but at least protect yourself if you're buying puts or something. And because if you're right in the put, it's going to result in 5x, 10x returns. And if you're not, maybe it's 2% of your portfolio or whatever. But it's definitely worth to start hedging yourself and being smart here because, I mean, look where we are with Bitcoin, right, Daniel?
Yeah, Bitcoin. Yeah, it's over 50. Is it still over 50? I don't know what it currently is. Hell, it could be 60 by now.
It's 51,000 right now, and I'm going to show you. Yeah, so I'm bringing up the chart right now. So market cap of $951 billion, but this is the chart right. Look at this chart. This is just a year chart if you're looking at it, where it was under 10,000 a year ago, and yeah, it's just an incredible move, like just unbelievable. It just keeps going higher and higher. Yes, 51,000 now. But I mean, you could argue, Daniel, that, it's not done going up with all the institutions buying. And then you talked about, MicroStrategy is a company that you follow very, very closely. And what did they just announce? This is like the other day, like yesterday, I think.
Yeah, last couple of days, they've had to up their offering. So it fascinates me on the market reaction. So you kind of think about, you got to be more careful. How do you do that? What do you pay attention to? MicroStrategy announced that they were raising convertible debt that pays 0%. So they're going to take in money today. Those are going to convert to shares or get paid back later. And they're buying Bitcoin with it. They were going to buy 600 million worth. They upped it to 900 million. And they already have over 2 billion in it. So they are, you got to give that guy credit for leading. I mean, he's putting his money where his mouth, or his company's money where all their vision is. And it's wild. But when they announced that, their stock went down. And that's kind of an interesting tell because lately, everybody that announces or puts Bitcoin or blockchain in their name, or you see a lot of mining companies coming out, crypto mining, people are switching their business models. I'm not blaming them. I'm not saying good or bad, but when the stock starts to not react like it has been, that's just another data point to pay attention to and just understand this shit's volatile. So be prepared.
It is pretty crazy. I'm trying to bring up a chart here if they allow me to.
MicroStrategy from February 9th has gone from over 1,200 to under 900 today.
So was it over 1,200?
Mm-hmm. Now, that could have been in an intraday price, but yeah, I mean, I'm looking on it on Seeking Alpha, so.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm trying to punch that up here and see if I can give you a chart because if you're looking at MicroStrategy and where it was, I mean, holy cow. I mean, this is a stock that's just incredible. So it is below 900 now, right? And it did go a lot higher, which is interesting, but I'm bringing up that chart right now. Here you go. You can take a look at it. Again, for our Curzio Research YouTube page, we like to show a lot of this stuff, or you could be listening to iTunes, but we have all this for free with our interviews, and, you can see Jason's beautiful face and my ugly face and Daniel's beautiful face on YouTube. But really quick, you're looking at this chart of where it went, and just 3 months ago, I mean, you're looking at a stock that 3 months ago, MicroStrategy, like a little bit before December, was $200. It went to close to 1,300. It did intraday high of 1,315. Now it pulled back, but Yeah, I'm not even too sure, Daniel, if that's an indication of, hey, this isn't working anymore, or if it's like, okay, I think that 5x premium is built in. And even though, over that period where you saw, the Bitcoin you bought go up in value and maybe double, it's still, in the scheme of things, in terms of your market cap and everything. I mean, their market cap is now 8 billion. So way to go from, it gained 6 billion in market cap and made $1 billion, probably maybe a little bit more than that, maybe 2 billion. But the market cap increased 3x by the amount of money they made in Bitcoin, basically. And I'm not doing perfect math there, but you guys get the point. So maybe it's just like, all right, enough, because where's this thing going to go? Is it going to go to 10,000 or 5, whatever? But it is interesting to see. It did pull back significantly. I mean, 1,300 to under 900 is significant, and let's see if that continues, right? Because we've seen a lot of stocks continue to do well as Bitcoin goes higher. Yeah,
and it's great to see Bitcoin. It'll be interesting to see how it trades going forward. Over the next few months. In 2017, when it ran up to 20,000, hell, it went all the way to under 5 or 4, I think, even for a little bit. I don't think the odds of that are very good at all, but would it surprise me to see it go down 50% from here and then hang out at 25 or 30,000? I don't think that's out of the question either. That'll be the interesting thing going forward. The funner thing for us personally and then subscribers is going to be the follow through of the amount of money flowing in to altcoins right now. We were talking the other day, Binance.
Holy cow.
So not all cryptocurrencies are good, not all are bad, just like stocks, just like every other profession. But what's going to be interesting is that you're starting to see this huge bull market in altcoins, right? I mean, these stocks are moving 100% in the last 2 weeks.
You updated the portfolio.
Not stocks, but coins.
I mean, you updated this portfolio, our crypto portfolio. And guys,
I told you, I was like, oh, I did it last week. And you're like, no, you haven't done it since the first. I was like, oh, well, I thought I did it last week.
Yeah. So, and you're like, I was like, just update it really quick because I want to see it. And we have, and this rarely happens in my 25 years of investing. You had a couple of 10 baggers, 20 baggers, everyone will highlight their biggest winners. We have 14 positions. 3 of them are 10x plus. One of them is 16x. Another one's 13x. 10 of those positions are up over 100%. With out of those 10, 5 are up between 300 and 700%. I mean, the gains in this stuff. Seriously, if you are a risk averse investor and you're looking at things and saying, I can get into these crazy energy companies or electric vehicles, whatever, all these companies that you can get into, and I understand it's nothing compared to what we're seeing in crypto, which is crazy, but there are some good names which we'll be able to navigate, like the Litecoins we recommended earlier, Ethereum recommended earlier, we're up tremendously on it. Holy cow, like just try to get familiar with it, because also we have security tokens coming down too, and I'm just glad that our subscribers, that never happens, gains like that. I'm not going to lie to you and say, hey, I'm great. I mean, you need that crazy bull market, and I just love to see that, hey, you know what, we did the right thing. We only put a small amount of cash to work in 2018. So we said, listen, be careful. It's going to get a lot worse. And then really invested in some of the best ones that got crushed. And people have sent me pictures, which is the greatest compliment you could ever get of he's in Cabo right now and saying this is because of Voyager Digital, which is up, tremendously, recommended at 84 cents, and it's whatever, 15, 16. And that's why you listen to people, right? That's what you want to do.
Yeah,
to me, that's what it's all about, man. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think it's going to be a great ride. It's just another great story of capitalism, but it's going to be neat to see these coins do well and blow up, and then that money and that same tailwind and enthusiasm is going to shift to the security token market, because people are going to realize eventually, as the products are built out, it's easier to buy and sell, it's easier to trade. They're going to realize, hey, these are legit companies, they're trading at good valuations, and anybody can get in, and everybody's going to be flush with cash for a little bit, and that's going to rotate. So that'll be really good. So, I mean, that's forward looking, but that's an exciting adrenaline to have.
And you're looking at a lot of these, like look at Square, look at Tesla buying Bitcoin. Of course, you have MicroStrategy. You talk about Mass Mutual. You see more and more companies. And 6,000 people signed up to the MicroStrategy conference. That was CEOs of companies looking to buy this. So maybe they're not Fortune 500 companies, but companies that have maybe a couple $100,000 on the balance sheet, maybe a couple $1 million, that they may look to buy it. But what do you think is going to happen if this thing comes down? I mean, these guys are committed to this. They really believe it's a store of value. So they're going to add more as it goes lower. Maybe you see a 15, 20% decline, but these guys are going to come right in. You're going to see MicroStrategy, which, by the way, I find it interesting because people like, it's the end now when you see a company raising debt to buy Bitcoin, because we heard the same thing, Daniel, when all these companies, the past 4 years, when interest rates, super low, were borrowing money to buy back their stock. and everyone was all over them and saying this is going to, and turned out to be an amazing decision.
Yeah.
Right? Because they borrowed at super cheap rates. They bought back their stock, and almost every stock you're looking at right now at the markets, they're at all-time highs. So I don't know if that's saying, that's a sign of a top or not, but probably not.
Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, when you consider the environment we're in with interest rates and stuff, it's silly not to take advantage and use money as best you can. And just like Apple doing that, you take out debt to buy back your stock at next to nothing interest rates. You also pay back dividends. You carry that forward, write it all off. It's brilliant. So no, I don't think that's the top. It'll probably get ahead of itself like everything else does, and you'll see some people get burned on it, and probably some management changes here and there at different elections of boards, but that'll be it.